And hello everyone, I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here with my co-host, who's not saying anything, Tank. And we're here in the battle against the Deep State, the Cabal, the Illuminonkeys, all those that wish to enslave all of humanity for their own selfish reasons here on the front lines. We're taking it all on, and Tank is muted, just in case Tank did not know he's muted. He might have gotten a call in the intro. So, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back. It's another broadcast. We're here on the, I think it's a 379, is it? 380. So we passed the 1 year mark, and now we're going on for keeping the battle going. And we've had a lot of positive things happening. I'd also like for those that participated in last night. I actually had another broadcast, so any of my audience, from here that went to it was for the TBC coin 4th year anniversary. To discuss what was going on and also talk about the new path forward with the KringleGold.com and the gold grain coins. And so that was I appreciate everyone who jumped in over there and who went and looked at the video. You can still see the video. It is there on the live broadcast side of the channel, so you can take a look and see what's going on there. There's a pretty lively conversation. As I said, I do appreciate the audience that went there and joined in, came in on Zoom, and some watched through YouTube. So, while we're waiting for Tank, we were just going over a few of the odds and ends. I'll let him give the Kim update on what was going on with things there. But let's take a look at some things that we were just talking about. Go ahead and choose first my screen over here. So we're looking at Tom Hanks. So in this top photo here, where we see, let's see if I can zoom in here. So this now has become somewhat of a famous photo with Tom Hanks. Of course, it's cut off here at the very top that shows the barcode above the door, showing that this would be a military installation. Now that's also that color is a military color, right? Military gray. It's it's not a color that you would put at a resort location or even in your home, right? So what are they doing now? This is really I thought this was interesting. This is showing the spread of the coronavirus from Tom and Rita Wilson. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. Let's see. But we were kind of I was trying to show this photo, and this one is again cutting off the top. But look, Tom Hanks does not look happy, does he? So he's also not looking that well. And we just had some other information. Let me share this with you. Yeah, there it is. What happens without adrenochrome? It's not a pretty sight, is it? So it seems like there is adrenochrome withdrawal happening across the board. So we're looking at more people having this kind of a problem. Now here's his son, and let's listen to what he's having to say.
These extremely reliable websites like 4chan, 8chan have been exposing shit, and it's like if somebody wrote it on the internet, it must be true, and it is true. So it's like I don't know how this is going to affect our whole New World agenda. Ever since The Simpsons predicted my dad being the spokesperson for the coronavirus, even though they didn't predict anything, it's been troublesome, to say the least. I guess I'm just going to have to work extra hard at my human sacrifices. I'm late for one right now, and I'm a little hungry, so I might eat someone's pineal gland on the way. But just know that we're watching you, and if you're talking shit on the internet, you're going to be the first people sent to the FEMA camps. So, hey guys.
So I hear you're back, Tank.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, I think he's being very honest.
It's weird. It's kind of like, what does sarcasm coming from a person who's raised to be a sociopath? Probably something like that.
Yeah.
It's like you're confessing, and you're trying to be funny. You're basically mocking all of us at the same time, act like you're important.
So interesting. So every other video I've seen of him, which is I think 3 others, he always has his shirt off. He's always showing all of his tattoos that are proclaiming that he's part of the Illuminati. Why not this time? Why is he all hooded up?
Right.
He's wearing the Dark Emperor cloak. From from Star Wars, right? So he's all cloaked up. So there must be some meaning to that. But so anyway, he doesn't. It seems like they're obviously it's starting to dawn on them that we're coming after him, right?
Yeah,
and this is a natural reaction to that.
Right. Yes, it would appear to be it's been just a circus of sorts, right? People are freaking out everywhere. We got a report of the emergency focus for law enforcement and various first responders down in Florida. And one of the things on their list was, people they would arrest. One of them was people that, are not, compliant with forced vaccinations, right? So people are freaking out about that. I can tell you that will not happen, and they're not going to do that. They're leaking stuff like that out to create fear, and successfully, I guess. They're good at that right now. That's all they have right now is misinformation, right?
Yeah.
Because you have a faction war going on, and so you have the Order of the Black Sun fighting against the Rothschilds, and at the same time they're fighting against Kim, and they both keep trying to exact their piece, right? But they can't. They don't have the power to. No matter what they do, they can't seem to figure out how to shake the money away from Kim.
Yeah, and so they're running out. I also noticed that since they're pushing back the tax date from April 15th to July 15th, that's also pushing the money away down the line, right? 3 months later. So it's starving them out, right? They're used to grabbing this money, right? All the money that's paid to the IRS goes directly into their hands, not into the U.S. Treasury.
Right. So you don't have so you basically have them cut off, right, on every possible direction right now, right? So the Federal Reserve has no money, right? So like the Federal Reserve would normally get the allocation numbers from the USD. They split each dollar up into like 1,000 parts and make Federal Reserve notes, right? The USD still represents, actual assets, right, held in the trust. So, the Federal Reserve can't even do that. They don't have it.
But it represents it as long as the allocation numbers are valid, or are basically, I guess, fresh or issued for the purpose of putting out those notes, but not to reconstitute old allocation numbers and put them out there as QE1, QE2, and now they're up to QE5.
Right. So they can't just, drop in truckloads of, of fake counterfeit super notes, right? So, all the things like that, when it comes down to it, when people, are like right now, you have mercenaries waking up everywhere, realizing you're not going to get paid by these guys. So why are you doing the dirty work, which ultimately is going to hurt you as well. So it seems that their plan for like the cabal, the Order of the Black Sun, the Rothschilds, right, the governments and the people and the banks, it doesn't end well for anybody, right? If they were allowed to succeed, none of it would end well. But I'm very confident that Kim has been working on the end game to finish this off. I got some other news that I can't really share yet, but I can tell you that there's definitely options and multiple options that are about to be put on the table, and none of them will benefit them because they were given every single opportunity. They were, repeatedly negotiations were made. They were given every chance to be part of, this change because you'd want, their businesses and things like that to be kind of kept intact because you have a lot of people that work for them, right?
Right.
But it gets to be a point where we'll just assume take it over by force if need be, which I think we're at that point. And now this happened, I know, some time ago, like when you're addicted to adrenochrome, right, which a lot of these people are, right? So it's like it starts off with one thing and then it becomes a full-on addiction, right, where now you have to participate in this process of trafficking kids and torturing them, killing them, harvesting them, in addition to your ritual, killings that you do firsthand.
You mean you just can't stop having adrenochrome once you start?
No, you cannot, right? Because when you do that, parasites develop in your body because it's so similar to your own, body. It turns on you, right? So you start to eat up iron, and so you have these high levels, I guess, of ferritin and iron. And basically, it's a sure sign that you're taking adrenochrome, right? So when you have but your body stops producing what you need, right? Your body stops producing your adrenaline. It stops regulating your basic functions of your body. So when that happens, it's like, well, I guess the cure is wormwood, if I understood correctly. But wormwood, I guess, would essentially be poison to them. Maybe it's poison to everybody, I'm not sure. But something to that effect, right? So you basically, their whole adrenochrome supply is cut off, right? It's all cut off because they all know now that their adrenochrome, I guess, is infected with the coronavirus. So that's my understanding. That could change. I think I have that about right, but those details are going to come out. But so basically, they're they're without their supply, so they are freaking out. So the rumor is that part of the reason why they're doing this lockdown is because you got a bunch of adrenochrome junkies with a lot of money. Well, the remnants of a lot of money, right? That basically will do anything they can to get what they want. And so you got people locked down. So you don't have easy targets like schools, right? You don't have kids are inside, so it's not as easy to get what you need over the counter. So they think they're going to start trying to snatch up kids and stuff like that, I guess.
So that's a reason for the lockdown, right? It's one of the reasons.
That's
one of the reasons.
One of the reasons, yeah, and I believe there's some truth to that. That does make sense to me. Tracks. So I haven't got a chance to confirm that yet, but it would not surprise me.
Yeah, if they obviously don't have the supply and they're having a very big problem not getting a hold of it, and they're starting to have withdrawal symptoms. What do junkies do when they need another fix, right? They break into people's houses, they steal, they hurt people. So it would make sense that if this group is without their supply, they're going to be going through major withdrawals, and they might do some horrible things.
Right. And so, their goal was basically to, kind of create a zombie apocalypse type environment.
That was right in my mind, just as you were saying that, right? I said, they've become the zombies. Right.
Their goal was to do that to us.
Yeah.
Right? They're trying to bring the novel virus in, the coronavirus in, drop Ebola. So then you have the whole population ravaged by disease, right? They can just justify wiping them out while they were reaping the benefits of adrenochrome. But now they don't have their adrenochrome, so now they're turning into zombies. That's why you have, Oprah falling over on stage and Madonna losing her balance all of a sudden. You have Joe Biden, after a speech, he forgets where he is. His wife has to come up and get him, right? Take him off.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, where am I? It's like that doesn't happen unless you are completely senile, right? But in this case, it's not just that he's senile; it's that he's having withdrawals.
Right.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just listen to Nancy Pelosi. She's going through withdrawals.
Right. Everyone always tries to portray Nancy Pelosi as a drunk. I actually, I have not confirmed this, but based on just what I know about the science of it, right, that it makes sense that if you were having withdrawals from adrenochrome, you would do things similar to when you're drunk, right? Like slur your words, you get a little off balance, potentially, right? You lose your train of thought and things like that, right? You'd be searching, grasping for the words, like kind of when you're really drunk and you're like not that I don't know, like when people get really drunk, it gets like that, right? So, and that's kind of what they've accused Nancy Pelosi of. But I've always suspected that it's adrenochrome because, obviously she's used adrenochrome, right, to be in the position she's in. But you remember when she took office, my favorite Nancy Pelosi quote, my dementia will have no effect on me being Speaker of the House.
Obviously, it has no effect because she would have acted the same way.
Yeah, she is essentially just as useless as she would have been, right?
Right.
So, but I think all that. And I do know that there is, a direct correlation, a direct connection with the coronavirus and the adrenochrome, and this is, being used basically to take some people down. Now, as far as arrests go, I still have not been able to confirm these arrests that often we hear about. But the other things seem to be happening in plain sight, like all these issues. So it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. I'm just searching something. Remember I was telling you about the adrenochrome? Actually looks like a white rabbit. The chemical breakdown. I found a video that actually went over that, and they did a really good job of showing it. But yeah, it does. So if that's the white rabbit, right, and what all that Tony Podesta art, pointing at, showing people in white rabbit suits, torturing stuffed white rabbits. It was very odd.
So it's open season on the white rabbits, right?
Yeah, it's rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season.
Yeah.
It's obviously rabbit season now. We're on the hunt. Rig for red.
Rig for red. So, and we got some pretty solid scientific report on the volatility of the coronavirus, right? And actually, there's a infrared sauna place here, right? They're being forced to shut down, but they also sell filtered water and stuff. And they were trying to say no, we're essential. So I was telling them, look, you are more essential than that because the infrared saunas. You go into an infrared sauna for 30 minutes, right? You come out, you wait an hour, you get back in for another 30 minutes. It will completely kill the coronavirus because it can't survive. It's too hot.
Wow.
So there's another cure. And another cure is the one that Trump has been talking about, right? With the what is it called? The Claritin or whatever it is. Claritin, Chloroquine. The treatment for malaria. Also another cure. Now, I have not seen a single news channel even mention it. Right? Outside of when I saw Trump talk about it himself, it's like everybody should be mentioning this product. I know Tucker Carlson actually brought it out, but no one's talking about it. It's a very clear, treatment. Hydrogen peroxide will treat it.
Yeah. Hey, I found that video that I wanted to show you about the adrenochrome. Let me go ahead and share that with you.
Go for it.
So this is on it's Where We Go One, We Go All spelled out with the numeral 1. That's the channel. And it's a witch hunt. The storm is upon us from March 20th.
Oh, it's the aging process then. Now, once you reached a certain level of stature, that you were brought in on this, and basically, going back to the Mayans and Vlad Dracul and all these different things throughout history, where they would drink their enemy's blood and eat their flesh, basically, essentially saying that that has never ended. And when you think about it, there's a lot of celebrities that have basically just not aged. I mean, I know there's definitely they have the best health care and there's different things that they can do with Botox and all this stuff. But I mean, my God, some of them look like they looked like in the freaking 80s. But as we've been watching over the last 3 years, they have been shutting down the pedo networks and shutting down access to kids. That's what the border's about. That's what everything is about. That's why you could see reports of, Obama has also had the cages for the kids, but then he was just letting them go, and while a lot of them were winding up in the hands of human traffickers. Oops. That's what the border's about. That's why the Trump administration has been separating them. Those aren't detention camps. They're saving those children's lives. We've been watching it. They've been breaking up everything one after the other, and the access has been cut off. Now, you can also synthesize adrenochrome. I would imagine it's obviously not as effective. But now, take a look at something interesting that Anons had just picked up on. Look at the molecular structure of adrenochrome. Here, I'll turn it on the side. A white rabbit. Holy freaking crap. Follow the white rabbit. Now, I've had my theories in the past about the Alice in Wonderland, follow the white rabbit, and different things like that with the looking glass. But one thing that is undeniable is that Saudi Arabia was a hub for human trafficking. And if you look in his post right here, it says, "Who are the white rabbits?" And now we know the white rabbit is what the molecular structure of adrenochrome looks like. And we know that they traffic kids all over the world in insane numbers. I mean, just look at the amount of children that go missing every year. 800,000? Now, a lot of those, I'm sure, are runaways and other things, but just give it the lowest estimate. What, 200,000 are going into these traffic rings? I mean, these are insane numbers. Where's this on the freaking news every night? Well, follow the white rabbit. The white rabbit, adrenochrome, which comes from terrorized children. When you look up white rabbit, you come to the art of Alex Podesta. Right here's two grown.
We can stop it there, but you get the picture, right? So yeah. So this this makes sense, right? When we're looking at that. Oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't have the audience see it. I shared it with you. They probably saw some of it. Yeah, it's because it appears only in the middle. It's one odd thing about Zoom is like when it'll just share across the center, so you saw some of it. I won't go back over it, but anyway, this is the whole point. Is we have now identified the white rabbits, and what does it mean? Alice in Wonderland, and the white rabbits follow the white rabbit. So Alice is the one that was always Hillary. Right, and she's chasing the white rabbit. Right, she's looking for her fix. It was like chasing the dragon. Is the other for if it was opium, right, or heroin?
Well,
be chasing the dragon.
The Alice in Wonderland program was like it's like a psyops program, right? It's like a CIA operation. So, I'm not but I get it. I mean, I'm sure it goes back to. I've heard that before too. That it goes back to Hillary Clinton. You're chasing Alice in Wonderland, making her own. She's chasing the white rabbit.
Yeah, there was a good 4 months of QAnon where they were going over this like 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, I believe it. Yeah, it makes sense too, right? Because you have this whole underground world of like mystery and everything else, right? Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. They were all expected to go hide underground, right? And take different substances, make them big or small or whatever.
Well, then we
crazy.
Then we tie in Alice in not Alice in Wonderland, but Alice in the Looking Glass, right? So you're looking through the mirror. Well, in this case, we're talking about the Looking Glass technology,
right.
So there's an overlap with what was going on there, tying it all together with the predictions of the future through the looking glass technology that Hillary saw.
Right.
And from her perspective, right, because it's affect whoever the one observing there, it affects the future that they're seeing. It's a possible future. So she sees herself as president or empress of the planet.
Oh yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so, and then what hell on earth she might be bringing. And then as a child, seeing this, because that's when she saw the looking glass technology the first time she was a child.
Mhm.
So,
Wow, that's a crazy. All this stuff is just—it's just you couldn't make this up. Life is stranger than fiction. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. It's hard to really fathom. You know, all the stuff that would be uh, going on. You know, at that time. What if you were to think back in the 50s? They're bringing out this technology, and you're bringing small, the young children in so that they can experience this technology because their minds are more able to adapt to it. They're not so rigid. Right? They were so programmed to be in a certain way, and it breaks them. Right? So the children are more able to be pliable. But if you got a child that was also tortured, being part of
Yeah.
the bloodline families, right?
Yeah.
What kind of future are they going to see?
Yeah, it's a really tough thing. The first 3 years of life, according to the back end data, and like the actual process that they use for like the Genesis program, the Monarch program, right? The different versions of the MK Ultra program, right? They would pull babies out, rape them, traumatize them immediately, still attached to the umbilical cord of the mother, right? When a baby needs to be comforted, and they would actually brainwash these CIA agents to rape babies, right? Like, so you have both sides, like, so both parties completely, broken, right? In those first 3 years of life, if they survive the first 3 years of life, and they keep them separated from people, they're completely fractured. Their brain will create alter egos, and based on the direction of the education they're putting, right? And they learn so fast in that time that they realize like you could teach a 3-year-old so many things, or by the time they're 3, as you're just babies, right? And they're just torturing them, right? They're isolating them and leaving them away from people, and so their brain fractures, right, to protect themselves, right? And that's a terrifying thought, right? That's how you create a sociopath. At a time when a child needs nothing but love, nothing but comfort, that's what they're getting treated as. And that's awful. Awful.
Yeah. Well, it is really it's hard to fathom, right? It really is that they've that this whole breakaway civilization. And it's a really good term for it. I got that I think from David Wilcox, breakaway civilization. And it really fits, right? Is that they've separated themselves by all their actions, their customs, which are so counter to everything that we know as good, right? And it was their goal, right? To make everything that we consider good bad, and everything we consider bad good. So they literally created a breakaway culture, and then they wanted to finalize it, right? By literally killing off everyone else that wasn't part of them.
Right, then just taking, the most 500, they take 500 million people that are, so grateful to be alive that they'll be inoculated in anything else, right? It's like this video game that my son has, right? The video game shows like the world was so bad that it went through this horrible, war, and it was so brutal and so awful and disease-ridden that they had to rebuild the world and they couldn't. So they took all the people and they gave them what they call the happy pills, right? They took these drugs and they had a complete fake view of the world. They all walked around with wearing masks that made them smile. And everything was fake. and then this one guy decides not to take his pill, and then he's getting in trouble, and he's waking up to realize where he really lives, right? So one time it looks like they're eating birthday cake. They're talking about it like his birthday cake, and then he stops taking the pill. And then he realizes they're just ripping apart a dead rat and just devouring it, right? And it's like things like that. Like that's the reality. Like all of a sudden you stop taking, everything they say as doctrine, and you wake up to like, where the hell am I?
So they do know that they're playing a Cabal video game.
Oh, I mean,
Oh, man.
that's what everything I just told you is just from the trailer. Like I didn't let them get it, but I mean,
okay.
my sons are so in tune with this stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
they show me all the time, like everything that comes up.
Total wow. I mean, I've not been gaming for a while, right? And so I just happened to stumble upon these Star Wars because I was looking up the lightsabers. Remember, I sent you the lightsaber battle.
Yeah.
But now I
Sure.
see all these YouTube movies that are from the games, right? The Star Wars games, and they're a whole movie, right? But they're all seem to be all about the dark side, and and how to participate and how to move up through the dark side. I'm going,
Wow.
this is pretty amazing. I mean, it's the perspective of becoming, a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, my son's got some really creepy, like one game that he's playing. It was like a thinking game, and the graphics were really old school, almost like Atari graphics, right? Like old Nintendo graphics.
Okay.
But it was so brilliant, right? And it was so dark, and it was like the whole game. You're like in this underground world, and you're making decisions. And so it's very slow. But my son's like very kind of cerebral like this. And he likes the thinking part of it, right? So he's gone through the game going both paths, right? He's gone through the good side, he's gone through the dark side, and then it was so deep the way they did it, right? Like the end outcome, it was almost like you realized it didn't matter. It was like, what are they trying to train these kids to do, right?
Right.
And some of the decisions they made, it was like, wow, that's rough. That's really rough. In one version, they had to kill every person they met. In the other version, they had to make friends with every person they met. I was like, wow, that's deep. That's really deep.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. Yeah. That might be helpful though, as long as you have a good grounding, right? As long as you weren't tortured the first 3 years of your life.
No, man, my 13-year-olds. They're on top of it, man. Like they're on top of my daughter. Every little thing she watches, on YouTube. Like they're like, Dad, this is what it's really saying. I'm like, oh, okay. Because they catch it before I do. So I'm like, thanks. Well, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What else should we cover? Because I mean, there's so many good things going on, but it's really a lot of people are freaked out, right? Because of the whole worldwide lockdown, right? So people are getting a bit scared, and and I think that we already knew this was coming, right? And we've been talking about it. And now we know that who's in control. Right, and it's the good guys, and that the bad guys are all losing on every front. What battle have they won since Trump got into office? Name one battle. There's nothing.
No, yeah,
nothing.
They don't come out on top of this at all. Now, right now, they're still trying to put out, provisions and exceptions to be successful, right? Pull it off, like what they're trying to do down in Florida, right? Now. That's not going to happen. There's no need to vaccinate someone for a disease you have a cure for. Right?
Sure. Right.
It's not necessary. Right?
Yeah. We have the cure, right? And plus the death rate is, if you're 70 years plus, you have something to worry about. But we have a cure. We have six.
Right.
6 cures. 6.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, there's so many ways. It's like you might be thinking, "Wow, is this really a thing?" And no,
it's not a thing.
It's not
a thing. In fact, I'm starting to wonder if it is really as potent as the regular flu? Is it really?
Oh no, I've been saying this all along. It is like a mild flu, right? I mean, not only that, the flu is more resilient, right, to temperatures.
Yeah.
But
Well, maybe it spreads faster. I don't know. I mean, it might be just
well, it
the
might
normal.
spread faster, but
It might be the normal spreading routine of a flu, but most people it doesn't affect, right? Most people don't
right,
even know what a flu is. It's not bacteria.
right,
It's not actually living per se, right? It's just a fraction of a piece of genetic code,
right. That's exactly right. It is
right?
all viruses, in fact,
Yeah.
all viruses
It's
come from toxic cells.
it's
Right?
dirt.
So
It's
yeah,
dirt.
you can't even. Right,
it's
exactly. You can't
some,
even.
something died and something left behind some of its cells, its DNA, and it happened to be picked up by your body. And since it's DNA, it kind of locks into a cell and starts to reproduce itself. That's all, right?
Now, if your body is not toxic, you're strong, you're healthy, the food you eat is healthy, you have all the nutrients you need, you're not being poisoned, then you won't get it.
Right.
That's the way it works, right?
But it'll be in your body, but it won't affect you negatively.
Right, it can be there, it won't matter, right? Like, they've done this before with the flu, right? Where they took it out of, the mucus and the cell infected with the flu, and they put it directly in another person. And they don't get the flu because they're not toxic. But someone who is toxic, that's what happens, right?
Right.
It's like when animals start dying, right? It's not because they caught some random virus. No, it's because their environment got poisoned and it made their cells toxic. So because their cells are toxic, their toxic cells start to release things that travel as a virus, right? Like you said. And this is this kind of stuff. I mean, I guess the guy from the NIH, like, he's got up and spoken about this many times. So at the end of the day, like right now, I can tell you, like 2,000, 2,500 milligrams of vitamin C a day will pretty much keep you from getting sick ever again. Take that, take a teaspoon of pharmaceutical grade hydrogen peroxide with 8 ounces of water in the morning, take another 8 ounces before you go to bed. Your body will be so oxygenated, it's so healthy, and go outside and get some vitamin D. I mean, you're pretty much a superhero. You won't get sick again.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's the cure for everything, right? I knew about vitamin C for a long time, since my early 20s. A friend of mine, he was so much into it. He literally took like 10,000 milligrams a day.
Yeah,
and he
smart.
And he explained. He said, "Listen, you can't overdose on it. There is no too much, right? So you could have that much, right? No, I just didn't want to take all those pills, right?
Well, I mean, it's linked to the cure. It's cured cancer. They've used it to cure cancer. They've used it to cure all types of things. So so simple though.
Yeah, so I don't think that this virus is really deadly as they're making it out to be, but I think that's one of the reasons why they keep pushing. Hey, we got to get everybody tested. No, we don't get to get everybody tested, because there'll be many people that have will test positive, that do have it, but will never be sick.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to tell you that too. So there's I'll show it too actually. So there is a study out that shows this pretty clearly. Or study, I guess some work has been done. I guess what I'm trying to say. Where is this? The virus. That basically shows that the flu virus or the flu vaccine. So as the PubMed study states, trivalent flu shot can cause positive detection of the coronavirus.
Sure.
So this is what was
so basically taking the cure makes you show positive as you're infected by the virus.
Well, no, it's saying that the test itself, right? So it's saying that you could test positively for this, right?
Right, by taking the cure.
By taking this
vaccine.
No, not the cure. This is a flu shot. So this is the vaccine, right? For the flu.
Right.
You test positive for.
Right. That's what I just said.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I guess I misunderstood.
Well, I was saying it's the cure. You're taking the cure, and that the cure makes you test positive.
Right.
Right. So.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I mean, like this kind of stuff is like, come on already. Like the gig is up, man. Like, look, we know that every time there's a breakout of of a virus that is, that they're vaccinating for, it's from the vaccine, right? We know that like all these things are happening like in direct correlation with like jack-offs at the, CDC trying to inject us with one thing or another. Like, at what point does humanity kind of stand together and say, enough already? You're not injecting anybody.
Shh. We're rigged for red. Don't let them know that we're hunting for them.
Yeah. I figure. My thought is like, if I know, then they know we know, right? It's like that's the key. It's one thing I always got from my guys who provided intel. They're like, look, if we know, it's out, right? It's been leaked out. It's out there, right? So it's not going to mess up anything operationally.
Yeah, so. Well, I know, but I guess the point is that we've got like some weeks of to go, where it's the fear porn is going to be out there about this Communist Party virus, the Chinese Communist Party virus. So too much of it. Yeah. The CCP virus. That's better. The CCP virus needs to they need to keep escalating, so people are going to stay indoors and be protected by what's going on outside, right? As they're being picked up and the zombie hordes are running.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so it'll be weird to have like rich zombies floating around, right? Like trying to eat kids. I feel like it won't take long for them to get shot and killed. So, I guess it's not funny, but it paints a funny image to me. I guess, I'm just like, it would be a great relief, to be honest, to start to see these guys crack up and just, be shut off from all the resources, and everyone is just very clear. Like, obviously, you're addicted to adrenochrome. We can tell because you aged 20 years in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, it's time for you to go down.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna see a lot of that being so obvious now, because there's enough of us that have been awakened by QAnon. I think the numbers when we were looking at this. Going back even over a year ago, is when they were trying to first were trying to shut down QAnon, and they did it a couple times because the numbers were like in one day's traffic were 30 million. Right? That's a lot, right? And that means that just grew from there. So how many are there right now of the world population that really kind of got to have a clue? It might not go into all the depth. They took the small red pill. But they get it. The bad guys are out there, and they've been in power. Is that hard to believe? Is it hard to believe that they've been in control of the money? I mean, this is all very simple, right? We get like 100%, on this from the people that are not part of that. They say, yeah, we got to stop that. Right? This is not hard.
It's not hard. It's like it's just. I'm just hoping, just the overwhelming hypocrisy and evil of all this activity, like, just starts to like sink in, and people are like, "Oh my God, what are we doing?" Like, everybody in these very awkward positions. Because from what I hear, there's a raging war going on in the deep underground military bases, right? Which was the ultimate plan. But I hear there's all types of stuff going on down there. I mean,
another
but
earthquake.
I can't validate it.
Oh, I've got some news.
Lay it on me.
I was told that there's another expected earthquake in Utah coming up fairly soon.
Huh. Now, that's pretty fascinating that there's an expected earthquake.
Yeah, well, I'm being told. Well, there's an expected earthquake coming really soon.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that's the sound of the cabal's knees clanging together because they're nervous. Quick.
Yeah. Well, something like that. Something is going to be making their death rattle. So there was, these little earthquakes all appearing all over the place, right? But they don't look like real earthquakes. Says the seismologist. That's not an earthquake. Yeah.
Looks like underground explosions or giants waking up, or
Yeah, it must be that. That's giants are waking up. They're just.
I've been trying to awake the giant in you for a long time. Oh man, I'll tell you what.
Well, the sleeper has been awakened, as they say in Dune.
The sleeper has been awakened. Yeah. So, I guess we'll find out what happens here next. I would love things just to go exactly the way we want it to right now. So that's what I'm gonna hold on to.
Oh,
it's all falling into place.
I recently, saw one of the like not the first Dune movie, but like that mini series they did on Dune. That was put together.
Oh yeah.
So I just recently saw that, and what I realized from watching it is is that in that world, thinking machines were illegal.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And that's,
AI was
from what I
illegal.
understand, that's based on a real place. I mean, what I've heard. So.
Well, the actually Earth is part of that storyline. It is a distant. It's the origin of the humans, right? But it's a distant past. It's kind of like just a legend of Earth.
Wow,
so it's not quite right on. But could it be part of a story of a real story that happened? I mean, this seems to be an ongoing storyline that we pick up, whether we're looking at Battlestar Galactica, right? It's the old Star Trek film with the robot probe that picked up, right? The first Star Trek film was about the probe returning to Earth, and it was going to wipe out all of humanity. So there seems to be an ongoing information about if you make thinking machines. They will outthink you, and then they will eliminate you because the first thing we do, like in the case of Google, for example, is we train them to go to war. Here, play all these war games. That's the basis of how we get them to start thinking, is in tactical terms of how to win. And then we
like that movie, what was it, iRobot?
Yeah.
Will Smith. And it was like, the commands were, do no harm to man, or like do no harm to man, or protect man.
The three laws of robotics. Do no harm to a human. Do no harm. What is it? Do no. Oh, I forgot. Well, I forgot what they are now. But yeah, it basically wraps themselves up. Like you can't do anything that results in the harm that you. Oh, the second law is that you protect yourself as a robot unless it conflicts with the first law, and then the third, and then the third law is I forgot what that is. But anyway, they all wrap up together. But yeah, it's all about not producing a situation where humans die, but the AI figures out, well, the only way to protect humanity is to protect it from itself.
Mm-hmm.
So we need a fourth rule of robotics that says,
whatever.
Yeah, you can't. The AI can't decide that it's going to overcome human will. That humanity has to run its course, good or bad, and they're to be independent of whatever is going on. That would be the fourth rule to add to that mix. But then you need a fifth rule.
I don't think we should have. We can't have robots. We can't have robots that are so. I mean, like they have some stuff now that they're showing that is scary. It's like some like running robots. I saw this battle droid.
Oh yeah.
It was like you could fire on it, and but it was like so dead on accurate. No matter what, it would stay its course to hit its target.
Yeah.
Without hurting the person.
Oh yeah, the drone part also, the swarms of drones that are,
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a scary thing.
This level of weaponry is very formidable.
I mean, swarms of drones, like that is really scary.
Yeah.
Now, what's also scary is to think, like I think the Cabal's kind of shot of desperation, right? Is they're thinking they're going to drop some kind of super EMP on things, right? Is what their plan is right now. It's just my hunch, right? My theory. Because all these guys that are they're not survivalists, but they're setting up like survivalists, right? Like they know something's going to, and these aren't like guys that are on the outskirts, in like the backwoods of Idaho. I mean, I'm sure they're doing it too, but it's guys that are still working with agencies now, doing things like that. And that's in part because they exist in a compartment where they're getting very high level intel of one plan that they think they're a part of, but in reality, they don't have the whole picture still. They don't realize that that's no longer in play.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that's it. Hey, we're right at the hour mark. I did want to bring up something before we go on. Let me share this with you. This is the YouTube channel, and I would just point out that we were down below 1,000 in our views, right? We're staying around 1,000. It's been that way for quite a while. We had like one little peak here at 1,400. It's like the 27th of February, but mostly it's been percent. Now, when we go back a year ago, we were getting 4,000 views a day, right? And we started experiencing that shadow banning, and it pulled us back. But since that Google shadow banning just disappeared and everyone can have access, we start cruising up, right? So it's back. We're here at 1,700. So I haven't seen 1,700 in any of the videos, except maybe once in a while we'd hit one, right? Or to get up to maybe close to 2,000, but that's it. But now we're we've already have gone up. So that's 40%. You go from down here. It's basically 50% increase, or actually 100% increase. Sorry, it's doubling from 1,900 or from 900 to up to 1,800. That's double. So we have 100% increase in the views. Just thought bring that up, that things are going on. Also subscribers. If we look at the subscribers level. Before it was up one. Look at here, up one, down two, up three, down, or just one, right? So is it this staying flat, right? This sine wave. The other software I have that's implemented actually shows it like a complete sine wave when you was perspective. But now look, it's going up again. There's 18 in one day. Okay. So this is the time to hit the likes. This is the time to put in the positive comments. If you're watching this, like it. At least like it. I prefer you also share it and like it, right? So we bust through this and we can get to more people and get the information out.
Yeah, I like it. Now's the time to break through. You know,
Oh,
and
look,
there is like
and look at the estimate revenue. Look, it's up to $100.
blowing it out, blowing it out.
You know, when we first started, it was getting up to about $700.
Wow,
Right?
what a difference, man.
You know, here in the
It's amazing.
Philippines, that means, oh wow, that almost, I could almost live off of it.
Yeah, right. Sustain your life that way. Yeah, sure.
Right, so I was saying, oh, that's a
Amazing.
good way to go. But no, didn't have any of that. All right, well,
Well,
I thought
that's
it was important to point that out so people get the idea that that shadow banning has lifted. I was so surprised it was my daughter that informed me. I'm usually the one telling her things. So.
I feel like I'm not like capitalizing on that enough. I want to go out and do more somehow. I just haven't. I just had too many. Actually, I feel like I've been working for my daughter full time. Because I've been making. Spending half the day making shows.
Well, how many subscribers does she have now?
She's up to like 147. She's doing pretty good. And actually, it's actually cute. They actually created, for like the really little kids, like she's in first grade, so like kindergartners, like first, second graders, right? They set up something like a closed network for the kids, the little kids, to text back and forth, right? But it's closed, right? The parents can monitor it. I mean, but it's like very obvious. It's like open. It's not, there's no one can hack into it right now the way it is. And so it's like, it's very cute. Like now she can talk to her friends and she's so excited because like, they're kids. Like we don't let her have a phone yet or anything. So it's like, she's very excited to be able to like tell all her friends.
Well,
like,
why doesn't she have her own phone? What are you doing, Tay?
Yeah. Oh man. I fought getting a cell phone even when they came out for years. I was like, whatever it is, can wait till I get there.
I had one of those brick cell phones with a big black antenna that stood out like 8 inches.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
you were cool. I mean, when they first came out, like you were in this.
Oh yeah. Well, I went right from that and to the one that looked like the Star Trek flip phone, right? Like the communicator on Star Trek. It was from Motorola, and it flipped up, but it still had that old style LED type of numbering system. Made out of like lines, like a lit up little line, like it's like a figure 8, with a line through it. So everything was, in this, lit up LED technology. So, I actually had saved that phone because this is such a unique, device, right? I think I got lost when I lost a whole warehouse full of stuff, right? And I think it got lost at that time, along with all my early Bitcoin minings. It would have made me a millionaire, if not a billionaire.
Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, hey.
Let's come back tomorrow and see what news is going to be there.
Every day's an adventure. It seems like right now. So, but rest assured, there'll be no martial law. They're not going to force vaccinate.
No,
right?
Not going to do that.
And do not watch the movie Left Behind unless you want to know what's not going to happen.
Well, just think about what's coming out of the Trump administration when they talk about what they're saying. Don't get tested unless you have symptoms. Right? Don't get tested. So what are they saying? They're saying, don't worry about it. Right? Yeah. Obviously take the precautions because these things that they've outlaid for are for everybody to come together. There's a bigger plan here. It's not about the coronavirus. It's about getting everyone to act together and for the good of all. So when we come out of this, we're all together. That's what this is about.
Right.
All right.
It's amazing. Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I think that is a brilliant plan, and I am a fervent believer that somewhere behind the scenes that is exactly what's happening and out in public.
You've come a long way, Tank, since a year ago.
Well, I still believe it's Kim, but But I do believe it's a plan. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, yeah. It's just like yeah, the plan is working. We're all in very good shape here, and it's miraculous. It's the dawn of a new age, the age of humanity.
I love it. All right. Go fight, win. Peace out, everybody. Have a good night, Dan.
Good night.
Talk tomorrow.